Your partner's secret is online right now. And heaven is pushing you to see it. My beloved child, slow your racing thoughts for a single moment and listen with the quiet part of your heart. There are seasons when heaven remains silent, allowing faith to mature without constant signs. Then there are rare moments when the veil seems thinner than ever before, when invisible hands begin arranging events so precisely that coincidence can no longer explain what unfolds. This is one of those moments. You were not led here by accident. You did not stumble across these words because an algorithm decided they belonged in front of you. Something deeper has been whispering your name through ordinary moments, urging you to stop, to pay attention, and to prepare yourself for a truth that has remained hidden far longer than it should have. For weeks, perhaps even months, your spirit has sensed that something was different. You smiled when everyone expected you to smile, yet your heart kept asking questions that your mind could not answer. You noticed small changes that others dismissed. A delayed reply. A strange silence. A glance that seemed to carry the weight of an untold story. None of these moments alone proved anything, but together they formed a pattern your soul could not ignore. Heaven often speaks through patterns long before it speaks through certainty. There is a reason this message has reached you today. Somewhere in the digital world, a forgotten conversation, an overlooked photograph, an unexpected notification, or a hidden clue waits to be discovered. It is not there to destroy your peace. It is there to restore your clarity. Heaven does not expose secrets to create chaos. It reveals them to remove confusion. The truth may arrive through the smallest doorway, yet it can transform an entire future. Your partner has been carrying something that has become heavier with every passing day. What began as silence has grown into an invisible wall. They have wanted to tell you more than once, yet fear convinced them to wait for a better moment. Days became weeks, and weeks became months. Every postponed conversation made the burden harder to carry. Sometimes people hide the truth not because they enjoy deception but because they fear losing the person they love the most. The strange feeling you have carried lately was never your imagination. Your intuition has been knocking gently against the door of your awareness. Heaven planted that quiet uneasiness within your spirit, not to make you suspicious of everyone around you, but to prepare you for understanding. Discernment is different from fear. Fear creates stories that do not exist. Discernment patiently waits until light reveals what darkness has tried to conceal. Do not expect the truth to appear with thunder and lightning. Often it comes wrapped in ordinary moments. A forgotten password remembered at the perfect time. A memory that suddenly returns. A message resurfacing from months ago. A conversation overheard without searching for it. What seems random to the world is often carefully timed from above. There is another reason heaven is urging you to pay attention. This secret is connected not only to your relationship but also to your own healing. Sometimes hidden truths expose old wounds that were never fully repaired. They invite you to choose wisdom over reaction, peace over panic, and faith over despair. Your response will shape what comes next far more than the secret itself. You may be expecting betrayal, but heaven asks you not to write the ending before the story has revealed itself. Not every hidden truth is an act of disloyalty. Sometimes the secret is an unspoken sacrifice. Sometimes it is a fear that was never confessed. Sometimes it is a painful chapter your partner believed would only hurt you if you knew. Whatever the truth may be, remember this: light always has a purpose greater than exposure. As you continue walking through this day, pay attention to what repeatedly captures your attention. Certain names, certain memories, certain conversations may begin appearing again. Do not dismiss them too quickly. Heaven often repeats what is important until the heart is ready to receive it. This is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a revelation that has been waiting for its appointed time. The secret is closer than you realize, and when it finally comes into the light, you will understand why heaven refused to let you remain in uncertainty forever. My beloved child, before the truth reaches your eyes, I want to prepare your heart. A revelation received without wisdom can become a burden, but a revelation received with peace can become the doorway to freedom. That is why heaven never rushes what the soul is not yet ready to carry. Every delay has been preparing you to respond with strength instead of fear. There have been nights when your partner lay awake, staring into the darkness, replaying the same thoughts over and over. They wondered whether today would finally be the day they confessed everything. More than once they almost picked up the phone. More than once they started typing words they could never bring themselves to send. Every unfinished message became another reminder that silence was becoming impossible to maintain. Meanwhile, you experienced an unusual restlessness. Certain memories returned without invitation. Old conversations suddenly echoed in your mind. You questioned why events from the past refused to disappear. It was not because you were trapped by yesterday. It was because heaven was quietly assembling scattered pieces into a complete picture. The digital world remembers what human memory forgets. Messages remain buried. Photographs wait inside forgotten folders. Search histories, saved notes, archived conversations, and overlooked details often remain untouched for months or years. One unexpected moment can bring them back into the light. When that happens, do not assume the discovery is punishment. Sometimes the evidence appears only because the appointed time has finally arrived. Your partner's greatest struggle has not been deciding whether the truth matters. They already know it does. Their greatest struggle has been wondering whether your love is strong enough to survive hearing it. Fear has whispered that honesty would end everything. Yet heaven continues reminding them that relationships built on truth stand far longer than relationships protected by silence. You may soon notice unusual timing. Someone may mention a name you have not heard in years. A forgotten account could suddenly become active. A notification may appear that seems insignificant at first glance. Resist the temptation to react immediately. Not every clue tells the whole story. Heaven reveals truth step by step so that wisdom grows alongside understanding. Remember that appearances can deceive. A single image cannot explain an entire journey. A short conversation cannot reveal every motive. Be patient before reaching conclusions. Patience allows truth to unfold completely, while haste often creates unnecessary pain. There is another reason heaven has delayed this revelation. During this waiting season, your own heart has been transformed. Months ago, you might have answered anger with anger or accusation with accusation. But through quiet lessons, disappointments, and unexpected victories, you have grown stronger than you realize. You are no longer the same person who began this journey. The secret itself is not the destination. What truly matters is what happens after it comes into the light. Will forgiveness become possible? Will honest conversations replace fearful silence? Will healing begin where confusion once ruled? These questions carry greater weight than the hidden information itself. Do not underestimate the power of calm. When emotions rise, breathe before speaking. Listen before judging. Seek understanding before deciding. Some relationships are restored because one person chooses wisdom during the most difficult conversation of their life. As heaven continues guiding your steps, trust that nothing hidden remains concealed forever. Light moves patiently, but it never fails. What belongs in darkness eventually meets the sunrise, and when it does, every unanswered question begins finding its place. This chapter is bringing you closer to clarity, not farther from peace. Even if the truth surprises you, remember that your future is not controlled by secrets. It is shaped by the courage to face them with faith, compassion, and wisdom. My beloved child, there is a difference between knowing about the truth and being prepared to receive it. Heaven has been working on both at the same time. While circumstances have quietly moved the hidden pieces into place, your heart has been learning patience, discernment, and mercy. The moment of discovery is drawing nearer, but the greater miracle is the person you are becoming before that moment arrives. There are conversations your partner has replayed 100 times without ever speaking them aloud. They imagined your questions. They imagined your silence. They imagined every possible ending, and fear convinced them that none of those endings would lead to peace. Yet fear has never been a trustworthy guide. It magnifies disaster while hiding the possibility of healing. Soon, an unexpected connection may begin to appear. A memory you had forgotten could suddenly make sense. A detail that once seemed meaningless may become the missing piece of a much larger picture. Heaven often reveals truth like the sunrise, not in one instant, but gradually, until darkness has nowhere left to remain. As this unfolds, guard your heart against assumptions. A secret can look different from every angle. What first appears to be betrayal may actually be regret. What appears to be distance may have been rooted in shame. What appears to be rejection may have begun as fear of disappointing someone deeply loved. Wisdom waits until every piece has been revealed. There is also something heaven wants you to remember about yourself. You have survived seasons you once believed would break you. You have walked through unanswered prayers, lonely nights, and moments when hope felt impossibly far away. Yet you are still standing. That strength was not developed by accident. It was preparing you for this chapter. The online world moves quickly, but heaven's timing is never rushed. A message sent months ago, an old photograph, a forgotten account, or a long-buried conversation may return at precisely the right moment. When it does, do not see it as fate alone. Sometimes what resurfaces has been waiting until your heart could handle the truth with maturity rather than impulse. Your partner has been carrying an invisible conflict. Part of them longs for complete honesty because they are tired of pretending everything is fine. Another part continues asking, what if I lose the person I love? That inner struggle has become exhausting. Silence demands constant effort, while truth, though difficult at first, eventually brings rest. If the moment of revelation comes sooner than expected, let your first response be stillness. A calm heart hears what panic cannot. Speak carefully. Listen completely. The first conversation after a hidden truth comes into the light often determines whether healing begins or whether deeper wounds are created. Heaven is not inviting you into fear, it is inviting you into freedom. Freedom is built on truth, even when truth is uncomfortable. A relationship cannot fully flourish while important things remain hidden behind locked doors. Whatever is revealed, let it become the foundation for honesty instead of the beginning of endless suspicion. Remember this as well, not every chapter ends with separation. Some stories become stronger because the truth finally replaces silence. Trust can sometimes be rebuilt when humility, accountability, and genuine change follow confession. Other times, truth provides the clarity needed to move forward with peace. In either case, light serves a purpose. As you continue this journey, keep your heart open to wisdom rather than fear. Heaven has not abandoned you. Every step has been seen, every unanswered question has been heard, and every tear has been counted. The truth is approaching, and when it finally stands before you, you will discover that courage, not fear, was the gift heaven had been preparing within you all along. My beloved child, as the hour of revelation approaches, remember that truth is never sent to destroy a sincere heart. It is sent to remove the weight of uncertainty. For too long, questions have echoed within your spirit without clear answers. You have searched for peace while sensing that an unseen chapter remained unfinished. Heaven has watched every silent prayer and every moment you asked for wisdom instead of confusion. There are doors that no human effort can open, yet when the appointed time arrives, Heaven unlocks them without struggle. What seemed impossible to uncover begins to appear naturally. An overlooked detail suddenly becomes significant. A forgotten conversation returns to your memory with new meaning. Pieces that once looked unrelated begin fitting together like a carefully crafted design. Your partner has reached a place where carrying the secret feels heavier than speaking it. Every day spent hiding the truth has added another layer of exhaustion. They have smiled while carrying guilt. They have spoken ordinary words while wrestling with extraordinary thoughts. Deep within, they know that honesty is the only path that can lead to genuine peace. Do not mistake delayed truth for forgotten truth. Nothing remains hidden forever. Time has a remarkable way of bringing concealed things into the light. What matters most is not how long the silence lasted, but what is done when silence finally ends. As events continue unfolding, guard yourself against voices that encourage anger before understanding. Not everyone who offers advice carries wisdom. Some people feed conflict because they have never experienced true restoration. Heaven calls you to something greater. It calls you to respond with dignity, patience, and discernment, even when emotions run high. The coming days may present unexpected moments that seem too perfectly timed to ignore. A familiar phrase may appear repeatedly. A memory may return with unusual clarity. Someone may unknowingly mention exactly what your heart needed to hear. These moments are reminders that you are not walking through this chapter alone. Your partner has been asking themselves one question more than any other: will the truth end everything, or could it become the beginning of something healthier? They do not know the answer yet. That answer will be shaped not only by what is revealed but also by how both of you choose to respond afterward. Heaven reminds you that forgiveness and trust are not identical. Forgiveness can begin in a single moment, but trust is rebuilt through consistent honesty, humility, and changed actions. If healing is meant to come, it will be supported by truth lived out every day, not merely by promises spoken once. This season is also revealing something about your own character. You have become more resilient than you once believed possible. Challenges that would have overwhelmed you in the past now find a heart that has learned endurance. That growth is part of heaven's preparation. You are being equipped to face reality with clarity instead of fear. Do not allow anxiety to write the ending before the story has finished unfolding. There are still details you do not know, conversations you have not yet heard, and perspectives you have not yet considered. Wait for the whole picture before deciding what the future should look like. Whether this revelation leads to reconciliation, deeper honesty, or a new direction altogether, trust that truth will accomplish what deception never could. It will set the foundation for a future built on reality rather than uncertainty. So keep your heart steady. Keep your spirit open. Heaven has not led you this far to leave you in confusion. Every hidden chapter has an appointed ending, and every sincere prayer for wisdom receives its answer in the right season. The light is growing brighter, and with it comes the clarity your soul has been waiting to receive. My beloved child, you have come farther than you realize. The road behind you has been filled with unanswered questions, quiet prayers, and moments when you wondered whether clarity would ever arrive. Yet heaven has never stopped moving, even during the silence. While you believed nothing was changing, unseen circumstances were being arranged with perfect wisdom. Now the atmosphere around this situation is beginning to shift. What once felt permanently hidden is becoming increasingly difficult to conceal. Truth has a way of rising to the surface, just as the dawn inevitably follows the longest night. No amount of fear can delay the light forever. Your partner has reached a crossroads within their heart. They understand that every day of silence creates a greater distance than honesty ever could. They have imagined what life might be like if they simply confessed everything and allowed the burden to fall away. Though fear still whispers, another voice has become stronger, the voice reminding them that genuine love cannot flourish where important truths remain buried. As events unfold, resist the temptation to search obsessively for answers. Heaven is not asking you to live in suspicion or fear. Instead, remain attentive without becoming consumed. The difference is important. Wisdom observes patiently, while anxiety invents conclusions before the evidence is complete. You may notice that unexpected confirmations continue appearing. A conversation may answer a question you never asked aloud. A forgotten memory may suddenly become meaningful. Even ordinary moments can carry extraordinary purpose when heaven is guiding your steps. Do not overlook simple details, for they often become the keys that unlock greater understanding. There is another lesson hidden within this season. Relationships are not sustained by perfection but by honesty. Every lasting bond eventually encounters moments when difficult truths must be faced. The strength of that bond is revealed not by the absence of hardship, but by the willingness to walk through hardship with integrity. If your partner chooses honesty, listen carefully before responding. Allow them to speak without interruption. Sometimes the courage required to confess a hidden burden has been gathering for months or even years. A calm response creates space for truth to breathe, while immediate anger can silence honesty before it has fully emerged. At the same time, remember that your feelings matter as well. Heaven does not ask you to ignore your emotions. It invites you to process them with wisdom instead of allowing them to control your decisions. Grief, disappointment, relief, hope, and uncertainty may all arrive together. Give yourself permission to experience them without letting them define your future.